I want to express my sincerest gratitude and appreciation. I'm deeply honored and privileged to be receiving this outstanding award, and this wouldn't have been possible but for the tremendous support over many, many years of the steelworkers, especially Ken Newman, who is the co-chair of NIDMAR, but also the Board of Governors for the Pacific Coast University for Workplace Health Sciences, Leah Gerard, Steve Hunt, and so many others that are part of the Steelworker Organization who have been supporting our collective efforts over all these years. I'd like to put this entire development, however, into a bit of a context so that it's easier to understand. I was injured some 38 years ago now. I was 20 years old. It was the first week on the job. I was an IWA member at the time, working for McMillan Waddell Spur Lake Division. First week on the job on a Friday morning, 11 o'clock, a 50-foot alder tree barber-chaired on me, came down and broke my back and left me with a severe spinal cord injury. It was one of those situations where job training didn't exist. It was in the form of a piece of paper that said, this is how you fall trees, and here's a power saw, good luck, go for it. I was extremely fortunate to have been able to carry on, and would have never been able to carry on with the job if it hadn't been for the support of the IWA, McMillan Waddell, the company that I worked for. I was the first individual in this logging camp of some 500 employees who actually went back to work with a severe injury. All of a sudden, ramps were built, washrooms were widened, and I was able to carry on making an ongoing contribution, if you will, being able to support my family. When you think that worldwide around 5% of individuals with the type of impairment disabilities that I have are actually employed full-time, you'll appreciate how grateful I am for the support of what are now the steelworkers, and as well as the employer that I was able to carry on. When we look at what's happening today for individuals with disabilities, when we consider that the suicide rate for someone who is unemployed and disabled is somewhere around 40 times the average population, that around 60% of individuals with disabilities across Canada live below the poverty line, and the fact that our hiring rate is around 1.2% per year, and that has not changed over the last 10, 15 years. That's why it is so important that we have effective return to work programs, because if you do not stay on the job after you acquire a disabling condition, then basically you will be pushed to the margins of society. That's simply the reality of what happens not only in Canada, but in fact around the world. We don't realize until it actually happens to you that you know, a severe disability impacts every single aspect of your life, whether it's economical, whether it's physical, whether it's psychological, whether it's social. So to that extent that we are seeing tremendous support on the part of the steelworkers to change this terrible paradigm is absolutely tremendous. I got involved on the advocacy side some 33 years ago now, because in 1982 McMillan Waddell, which was the largest forest products company in Canada, decided to terminate all injured workers, and that's how this long-term fight basically started. Where we are today is, and I'm extremely proud of the support of the steelworkers who have made this possible, is that with this support, we have created the Pacific Coast University for Workplace Health Sciences. It is the only university ever created via legislation in Canada with unanimous support from every member of the Legislative Assembly. It is also the only university in Canada, in fact around the world, that is dedicated to all aspects of workplace health sciences under its statute, dealing with occupational health and safety, health promotion, return to work, everything related to rehabilitation and disability. And I am extremely proud of the fact that this university is also the only university in Canada that requires, under its legislative authority, an equal representation of workers and employers on its board of governors. Over time, I am hoping and I am absolutely convinced that with the support of the steelworkers, we will be able to make a difference, so that just because you've acquired a severe impairment, it does not mean the end of the world where you only feel that basically committing suicide, as what has happened to a number of my friends, is the only option. That in fact there is hope, there is an opportunity, and I applaud all of you as leaders in this room today to go forward, go back to your workplaces to try to make a difference, because you have the ability, you have the opportunity to ensure that individuals who acquire a disability in your workplace, disabled workers, do not end up on the streets, do not end up on the margins of society. And I am grateful for this opportunity to be here via video, but nevertheless, I would encourage you to go back, make a difference. You can and you will make a difference, and whatever you do for someone with a disability today may benefit you tomorrow. Thank you.